Here goes Jeffrey. Hey, Mr. B. Hey, how are you?
I had an important job to do.
Did you?
I had to take my daughter.
So you know.
Okay.
Thank you.
I had to take my granddaughter to dance on this.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's important.
The important stuff.
That's right.
Is this everybody?
What's that?
Is this everybody tonight?
No, that's there for Barbara Judas. And there you got everybody in the waiting room.
Oh, beautiful. Hey, Alex.
Hey Jeff, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
That's good.
And I see Benjamin Gerard. I haven't met you yet, Benjamin. Nice to see you.
Right. Yeah, Ben's from our office as well.
I will say, I golfed with your colleague, Mr. Becker over there a few months back. It was a pleasure.
Yeah. He met us a couple months back.
Oh, yeah, it was. That's right. I'm bad with names, Ben. Sorry.
Oh, that's totally okay. Totally okay. You know a lot of people want to say, I'm sure, so.
How many do we have in the waiting room?
I don't know. He had 3 or
John, is everything good with the screen now?
Yes.
For, the YouTube live?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
We're
Making
recording.
sure you can see everything.
Okay, yep, we're good. So if you want to get started, we probably can.
We'll give people
A couple more minutes, okay?
minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got 6:57 on
Okay.
my end.
Yeah, I got the YouTube trim pulled up and it looks really good. It's good resolution of the screen.
Perfect.
Recording in progress.
All right, John, I got 7 o'clock on our end. Good to start whenever you are.
Okay. So you got everybody in the room and everything?
Yep, everyone's in the room on our end for the Zoom.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'm John Becker. I'm your Town of Sullivan Supervisor, and we're here to present the Whitelaw Water District proposed project. We have Alex Hess and Benjamin Gerard from our engineers, Barton and LaJudas. Taylor Botar couldn't be with us tonight. They're just going to go over their PowerPoint and present this to you folks, and you'll have time to talk it over, and we'll put it up for a vote at a later date. If everybody can't get this, it's being recorded, and it will be on YouTube, and if anybody wants an in-person meeting, we can do that also, but we thought this was the best way, given the time of day or time of the year, to get everybody together and get this rolled out. So with that, I'll turn it over to Alex.
Alrighty, good evening, everyone. I'm Alex Hess from Barton LaJudas, as Supervisor Becker already mentioned. Ben Gerard, my colleague as well, is joining me tonight to help us go through this presentation. So this is the proposed Whitelaw Water District, which is in the Town of Sullivan, as you would assume. So real quick housekeeping item. There we go. Just Zoom features for tonight. If you're using Zoom, questions can be submitted via the chat function on your Zoom compatible device. So that would be this icon below that says chat, a text box that says chat, or you can unmute yourself via Zoom and ask the question out loud at the end of the presentation if you have any questions. So with that, we'll move forward. So first, starting out with the project drivers. Some of the project drivers for the Whitelaw Water District. There's been a few things that have happened within these areas, including concerns just for water infrastructure in general, including shallow individual wells for single-family households in the neighborhoods, including low water yields, contamination risks from surface water impacts, as well as seasonal drought concerns. With these come potential water quality concerns, as well as lack of fire protection in these areas without access to a large source of water in the event of a fire. So with that, we'll move along to the proposed service areas that will be fed by the proposed Whitelaw Water District. So the proposed Whitelaw Water District generally is along Clark Road, Waterbury Road, Whitelaw Road, and Pine Ridge Road in the Town of Sullivan, close to the Town of Lenox line, as seen on the map right here. So there are approximately 114 properties, which are all highlighted in a yellow color on the map here. And included in this are around 92 equivalent dwelling units, and an equivalent dwelling unit equates to a typical single-family household based on typical water consumption. The proposed water main would be located in what is shown in navy blue on the map here, within the yellow-colored parcels that are within the proposed district. The light blue lines represent existing water mains that are already in place and are serviced by Onondaga County Water Authority. And there are 4 connections that would be made to the existing infrastructure to move forward with the proposed project. Moving on to what the proposed improvements would involve. So the proposed improvements, as I mentioned previously, would include 4 connections to Aqua system and around 31,000 linear feet of ductile iron water main with their associated hydrants and valves as required at distances as required by New York State Department of Health, as well as copper water services that would extend from the water main to the highway right-of-way, just to the highway right-of-way for vacant parcels, and to services to the house for parcels with houses on them. And here we just have a few pictures from recent projects, construction, similar to what would be needed for the Whitelaw Water District. Next is the big question that everyone has is, how much is it going to cost me? How is this all happen moving forward? So the proposed water district has an estimated cost of around $5.5 million. So that includes, all your construction related to the project and getting everything set so that water can be turned on and brought into your house. Broken down, this is an estimated user cost of around $1,100 per unit. So this includes your debt for the water project, so the capital improvement project, which is an estimated cost of around $700, and the water bill that you'll be receiving from Onondaga County Water Authority, which is estimated to be around $400. So we'll move on to the next slide to see a little bit more of a breakdown on the cost from Aqua and those items. So Onondaga County Water Authority is a fairly large regional water purveyor in the area. They serve 5 counties in central New York. So based on their rate schedules currently, the water usage estimated around 160 gallons per day per unit. So that is for a typical single-family household uses around 160 gallons per day. So that comes out to around $199 per year. Then they have a base service fee for a typical household meter of $146, the Metropolitan Water Board fee of $8, and a hydrant maintenance fee of $50. So that brings your annual water bill to approximately $403 based on a typical single-family household. That number may fluctuate depending on water usage. So moving on to the next part of what the project would involve. Each household would be required to have a one-time connection to the water system. So for a one-time water connection would include the installation of a water meter. So this would be required so that your water use can be metered by Aqua. This carries a cost of $214. And it will also require the installation of a water service lateral from the public right-of-way to the resident's household. The project would cover the tapping of the water main and service brought to the highway boundary or the right-of-way, but residents are responsible for the cost to connect to that curb stop at the highway right-of-way. And that carries a base cost of approximately $1,000 with a $25 per linear foot adder to bring copper pipe into the resident's household. There also is the possibility that residents will need a meter pit installed as part of the project by a private contractor or plumber, and this has an estimated cost of around $1,300. At the next slide, I will break down the reasons why residents may need this meter pit. Moving on. So a typical connection detail. So I'll talk from this diagram first and then circle back to the top. So the water main typically will be installed generally within the road or the shoulder of the road. The water main will be tapped by Aqua as part of the project. There will be a curb stop and curb box located at the highway right-of-way boundary line. And then everything from that curb box to the residence is the responsibility of the homeowner. So that's shown in red on this diagram. Everything shown in gray would be the responsibility of the project / Aqua in the future. So going back to the meter pit discussion, Aqua would require the installation of a meter pit located near the property right-of-way. If of a typical residential household that is located more than 150 feet from the right-of-way. So there would be a meter pit basically added, right after this curb box where the meter would be housed, so that Aqua has the ability to read the meter by driving by, and they won't have to go into a resident's house if it's more than 150 feet from the road. So if the household or the meter location is less than 150 feet from the highway right-of-way, the meters will be installed within the house. So next, everyone's big question is, well, are we getting any funding, any grants to help us pay for this? So we have a couple different grant programs that we typically work with and that we have looked looking into this project, and we have already done an initial report about the project and submitted it to the appropriate state agencies to get this ball rolling with the funding agencies. So the first grant program that I'll touch on tonight is the New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act, or the WIA grant. So this grant is the lesser of either $3 million or 60% grant. So it's maxed at that $3 million or 60% of the total project cost, less any other grants that the town could receive for this project. And that project, funding comes from New York State Department of Health and New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation in combination with each other. Next is a grant program / fund from the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation. It's the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, or DWSRF. So this program helps offer AAA market rate or subsidized loans to municipalities for water projects. So this is based on your project score and financial need of the project. So as part of our initial report phase, we submitted information to the state, and they would score the project based on the report, financial need, and we can take further steps to do an interest survey / income survey of the area as needed. So targeted financing for this project would be a 30-year subsidized loan, which is 66% of market rate financing. The next program that we typically would look into is the United States Department of Agriculture Rural Development Grant. So they offer market rate or subsidized loans and grant funding for the projects. They offer a 38-year loan, so kind of draws the project, your capital debt out a little longer, makes the project look like it costs a little less at the beginning. But that's just another approach that the town can look to with moving along with this project. And there's also a lot of talk right now in the news and political realm of Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Currently, right now, the word that we're getting from the state agencies, the funding agencies, and regulatory agencies is that those programs we rolled out as part of the existing WIA, EWSRF, and USDA-RD programs, but they may shift around, caps of amount of money or percentages to kind of entice more projects to move forward in the future. So there will be, lots of conversations on that throughout the next year, and we'll keep everyone in the loop as we find out more. So the last thing is, why are we talking about this? What's next for this project? What do we have to do to be able to find out if we're going to get grants? So in 2022, our main goal is to proceed with district formation. So this is the formation of the water district. And with that, we would also complete the state environmental quality review, which is the seeker process for the project, as well as receive a bond resolution for the project, which authorizes us being able to work towards securing financing and grants for the project. So these three steps need to be met before the funding agencies will award grants and allow us to apply for those grants. Looking out into the future a little more, whole project timeline, our district formation, as I mentioned, in 2022, secure funding in 2023, design of the project in 2024, construction start in 2025, and construction completion in 2026. And with that, I know that was pretty brief, but if anyone has any questions, would like me to go back to the slide to discuss further, either chime in on Zoom, on YouTube Live via the chat, or via the chat in Zoom.
Alex, there was one more funding agency that I found out about over the past week when I went to NISAC. I didn't realize that Madison County was part of the Border Coalition group. And they've got $60 million in funding this year, and I noticed that there was water projects that they could fund.
Yeah, Taylor and I had briefly discussed about that the other day. So we'll be looking into that further and following up on that. I think they have a meeting discussion soon.
Good. How many folks do we have on?
We've got 6 other folks on right now on Zoom. I don't know on YouTube Live.
It looks like there's
No?
2 or 3 on YouTube Live.
3.
No questions here.
Yeah, I haven't seen them here.
Hey, David Kuhn, 87 14 Eddy Road. Your estimate on $700, you know, I think coming down the road here in a couple of years, that price is going to be less. How do we opt out of this? I have a good well and I don't really need water. And I have a building lot, so I'm going to have to pay twice, so I really don't want water.
So, as part of the project and the district formation process, there's a voting process that goes along with district formation. Landowners that do not want to, residents that don't want to connect to the water will still be assessed debt for the project, but will not have to pay water use.
Well, the water use is something, but I mean, why do I have to pay for a water line if National Grid ran a gas line down through in front of my property? You pay a gas usage. Why do we have to pay Aqua to put in the water main, which is ridiculous? They're going to sell us water, and I think it's ridiculous. That's my opinion, and I don't want it. It's just another burden on everybody. We're already taxed to death right now.
So, as part of the water district, everyone.
How do we opt out of it? I don't need it.
So this is based on people within your neighborhood that have historical issues with their wells, and the water district would be formed to better the community.
Well, there are a lot of people in my neighborhood that don't even want it, and they have a lot of elderly people that can't afford it. They're already strapped for cash.
Alex,
I think this is ridiculous.
Alex, can you go back to the timeline?
Well, we were asked to put the project together, so we put the project together, and everybody will have a chance to vote on it.
Yep, that's part of the district formation.
Well, okay, then I vote no.
Okay.
Understood.
That's David Kuhn, 87 14 Eddy Road, and I'm not going to be shy about it.
Okay.
All right? Thank you.
Thank you. No other questions?
Yeah, I got a question. How does this benefit the town of Sullivan? Because it really isn't benefiting us.
Well, it does benefit the people that need the water, that have problems with their wells, and
Yeah, but
that are in the district.
90% of the people don't need it.
Well, then 90% of the people will vote no on the project, then won't they?
Well, I hope so.
Okay.
What's the matter, Mr. Becker? You having a bad day?
Nope, not having a bad day at all.
That's okay. We won't be here by then. We'll sell before this.
Well, if this comes up, I know a lot of people in this neighborhood are going to have to sell because they just can't afford it. And prices are going to go up by 2025 anyways. There's no way that these prices are going to stay what you're forecasting right now. Not going to happen. And you know it.
Oh, that's why you go for the grant money, to keep the price per unit at what it's at.
I thought the grant money was going to go against the 5.5 million.
It does, but the $960 is what per unit is the most that you can charge according to the state comptroller's office.
Oh,
Is
so
it
we're going to charge the most.
Is it $960 or
Okay.
$940, Alex?
I'm not sure this year what the new threshold is.
So whatever the threshold is, that's what we're gonna charge people, the max.
That's with the water usage. With the water usage.
That's what we're gonna charge.
Okay.
Do we have any other questions?
If I wanted city water, I would have bought a house in the city.
Do we have any other questions?
Oh. No. One for me.
Do we have any on the thing? No. Okay. Okay, if we don't have any other questions.
Yeah, I haven't had any come through on the chat here.
Okay.
Nothing on YouTube either.
We're good then, I guess.
Perfect. Well,
Okay.
everyone have a great night.
Yep.
If you have any questions,
Hang on, yep.
Got one more question. Now,
Yep.
when is the vote going to be?
We'll send a letter out to everybody on the time and the date.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
all right. If anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to the town, and they can put you in contact with us at Barton Judas if you have any specific questions for us.
Okay, thanks everybody.
With that, have a great night, everyone.
Yep.